recording.
I would mute myself.
So excited to see you guys tonight. Yay! Let me bring up what I'm gonna talk about. So excited to talk about avatar. So I tagged myself in the team page earlier about something that I've done previously. So like I kind of like thought of my niche, you know, a little while ago and thought about like who am I trying to attract, and I feel like it's changed a bit over time. So, and this exercise is like really involved, so I think it's really good to like rethink about it again and to get ourselves like in a place where like we're really digging deep down into it and thinking about really who we want to be talking to. And I wanted to open up just for people who like don't really know what an avatar is, because I know we have a few new coaches in the page and they're like, I don't even know what that is. So when we think about the avatar, yeah, we think about like our ideal coach and our ideal person that we want to be speaking to every day, that we want to attract to our tribe. You know, like who is it that we really see ourselves meshing well with and like feeling like we have the same things in common. Because I'm learning, I've been in this business 3.5 years, and top coaches have said since day one, like the way to really grow your business and the way to feel like really connected is to find people who are like you. And I wore this just for us. So if you see my sweatshirt, find your tribe and love them hard. I'm obsessed. But seriously, it's so true. And I love the ladies on this call, and I feel like we connect so much, and it has a lot to do with that. Like feeling like you have the same things in common. And you're speaking to them, which makes it easier to have those conversations with them and those tough conversations and guiding them through this whole opportunity, which I can't see you, Brenna, but I know you totally understand, being in this business for a bit now. So, you know, I just wanted to open up with like making sure people understand like what an avatar is and like what's the purpose of this exercise. And it's really to know like who's that ideal person that I want to speak to through social media every day. So some people have been through this process before, but I think it's really good to, you know, regroup on it and get in the mentality of like digging deep into it, and really understanding who I'm talking to. Like the whole purpose of this exercise is to go through it. And then when you're creating posts daily, look back to it and think, am I talking to that person? Am I being too broad? Am I you know, narrowing this down enough to really find the people? Am I using hashtags that really speak to this people? That's a huge thing too, is like, especially with Instagram, which is becoming huge. So, you know, even Facebook, or when you're doing sponsored posts, are you narrowing it down to like talking to this group? So these are all things you should be thinking about, and we can follow up this call, getting more specific into that, where like now we all have our avatar, like how do we really speak to that? I don't know, Brenna, if you want to add anything to that at this point, but like then we can kind of dive into the questions and really get people thinking about, you know, who their avatar is.
I just wanted to add that I have done the avatar training before. So like I've done it before, but that doesn't always mean that you're not changing. And also, even though I have technically done the avatar training, I feel like I did it. You know, maybe I found a good person that I was talking to, but that wasn't reminded like every day in my posts. Like I was trying to do my post towards my, like who I am and like speaking to people who've been through those struggles. But I think having that avatar reminder and like print it out or on your phone or something like that would be so helpful when you're struggling with what to post for, because you're posting for who you were. So you can post about anything towards that avatar.
Absolutely. 100% agree with that. So we're going through these questions, like the first one, and I'll obviously share this with everyone. And I think the idea is like, we really should kind of do this right now together. And then like you guys can share or ask questions as we go through it. It would be even helpful to share, like, this is where, because I know you guys have gone through this process before, like this is where I was and this is how it's changed. So like first question is, who do you want to work with? Client, coach. So like who is in mind, like in your mind, the ideal customer or coach? Like what is unique about them? And this is probably the most difficult involved question I think through this whole process, because it's really thinking about like, who you are as a person, like where did you come from, who are you today, like what are the struggles you went through. So like what is unique to you? So are they driven? Do they have anxiety? Have they struggled financially? Do they love music festivals? So it can be some like things you might think as negative and then things you might think as positive. Like that's the person I overcome and that's the person I still am and I still want to embrace. Are you a foodie? Yes, I am. Are you a stay-at-home mom? Do you love traveling? Do you go to church? Are you a go-getter? Are you looking for balance? So it could be anything. And these are just examples, but like this just helps you to start thinking about who I am and like who's the person that I really want to be speaking to. And again, it can be who you were and like the things that you've overcome. And I know like Brenna's been super strong lately about talking about like anxiety and like how that's a struggle for her and overcoming it and getting so much love on Facebook because like that's something people can really relate to. So, putting yourself out there and putting you in that space where you can really share and people can, feel engaged with you and feel like someone gets me is really what we're trying to dig into right now. So that's the number one question that I really want people to start thinking about. And I'll give you guys just like a few minutes to think about it and, say anything that you want to say, bring it to the table. They talk about like, this is how I've changed maybe. I have a hard time maybe talking about that for these reasons. And that's something that I do want to say, like I've struggled to overcome and I've had my coach and other coaches that just know me as a person, help me to connect with. You don't have to say it specifically. So like I've struggled with an eating disorder in my life and that's a huge part of my story, but it's something that like my family doesn't feel comfortable with me sharing. And so I always don't feel comfortable sharing on Facebook. But the feedback that I got is like, you don't have to specifically call out exactly what it is to share it. And what I mean by that is I don't have to say on Facebook, I had an eating disorder. I can say I struggled with food or I had a bad relationship with food or I found it hard to, eat healthy and balance that in my daily life. Like whatever it may be, like it still will speak to those people if you don't completely feel comfortable with putting yourself out there and saying for what it is. And again, there's nothing against that too. It's just like you got to find your comfort level in sharing. And so I want people to know there's ways around it to share those sensitive, intimate moments without completely calling it out. So those are things to think about as well. Like when you're thinking about anxiety or thinking about depression and like, I know people have been in a place where they're so depressed, they've thought about, taking their life and not easy things to talk about, but things that people can really relate to. So I'll give you guys a few minutes. I know I keep talking, but I will. I'm going to jot down some things too. All right, I'm going to move on just so we can get through this and not have so much time, but obviously we can go back. So number 2, where do they work? So are they a stay-home mom? Do they stay home? Do they work from home? How much do they make on an average? Pull from your life. So like, who the person are you today? Like, what are you striving for? And again, like think about the person that like connects with you and like you want to be talking to. And this changes a lot for people over time. I know for myself personally, you know, I had a full-time demanding job when I started coaching 3.5 years ago, wasn't making the money that I wanted to make, which was a huge push for me in my career, in my Beachbody career in the beginning. Then I quit my job, went abroad, went to school. Now I'm like working another job again on top of this, making great money and like pretty happy. So like this changes, like it might constantly change. Maybe it doesn't if you're a mom, maybe it does. So this is something like think about where you are now, and it's something that's constantly evolving. But I realize now, like the person I want to be talking to, and I don't think this is very common for Beachbody, but like for me, it's a niche. Is I want people who have full-time jobs to realize like you can like your career or you can do something else, but still, you know, do this to fulfill your passion or do as a side job to make more money, whatever it may be. I mean, I have a goal of at one point being a stay-home mom. That's just not where I'm at right now. So, and I'll be honest, like I haven't been very good about speaking to that. So that's something I need to really dive into more and start doing for my avatar. So that's a huge part of like my transition, and finding my tribe and who I'm speaking to. So think about that. Like, don't think about where you want to be, but think about who you are now, because people will connect with that.
As a quick side note on this one too, this is something that I personally like to add. So where do they work and how much do they make? But also, how many hours are you working? One of my literal biggest goals is to not be working 40 hours a week plus Beachbody on top. Not saying that I don't love being an online health and fitness coach, but my dream is to be making however much I want to make to sustain my lifestyle. I'm not like a crazy lavish person, so I don't need to be making like 7 figures. But I want to be able to maintain my lifestyle and work like 20 hours a week. That's like my dream. I would love to work 20 hours a week, like 10 to 2, and then, you know, with this job, sometimes you have to do trainings and stuff at night. That would be ideal for me. Like 5 hours a day, like that's what I want. So if you want to add in how much you want to be working too, or even how much you're working now, because that's probably a huge thing too for the tribe that you're speaking to, is how much are they working?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree. I think it's speaking to who you are now and who you want to be, because people are going to connect with that, Brenna. So like, this is my situation now, and this is what I'm striving for. And again, because people realize like things change too. And I think people are so scared to talk about like, this is where I'm at now. And like, to your point, like what I just said, like, I'm okay with having the corporate life and doing Beachbody right now, but I'm not probably going to be okay with that the rest of my life, because it takes a toll and it's exhausting. But right now it's okay for me. So like Matt and I always joke, like, how are we going to make this work when we have a family? I literally just got home to jump on this call. So like, you can't get home at 7:30 and have a child. Like just doesn't work. So, you know, it's like, there's a balance and there's a speed where you are in your life right now or where you want to be, which leads us to our next question. Are they a parent? So, you know, and that's a whole nother ballgame. Is like, I have a lot of moms on my team. Clearly I'm not a mom, but I've attracted, you know, this kind of, this tribe of moms. And I think it has a lot to do with like, they've connected with me of like who I am now, because I used to be that person before being a mom, and they still have a passion for traveling. They still have a passion for doing the things that I've done, which is great. And that's fine. So it doesn't mean that you attract people who are at the level as you right now, because you're talking about that whole experience. But again, it's just being able to connect with people on some type of level, where there is where you are now or where you want to be. and feeling like you have that connection. And being a parent is a strong connection in this business. This business is really great for parents and people who want to be home, want to create that lifestyle, whether it's where you are today or where that's where you want to get to. And I feel like this question can be like, are they a parent? If the answer is no, like, where are you at as a single, or a dating individual? Like, do you want kids? Do you not want kids? Do you see kids in your future? It can be dug deeper than that.
Mine literally says, are they a parent? No. And then like the little arrow, dog mom.
Yeah. Or exactly. Like, I know, Brenna, for you, like, you are a parent because you're a dog mom. And I have so many friends who are like super dog moms. Actually, I have a girl I work with who's like, I showed her your Instagram and Facebook page and she like fell in love with your dog. She's such a dog mom. It's insane. So that's totally a huge like connection, is dog lover, like putting yourself out there. I know you know that, but oh my God, it's so beautiful. But yeah, that's a huge thing. People are so into their pets and I totally get it. I want a dog so bad. Just not happening yet.
You should totally get a puppy.
I know. My boyfriend's like, they basically poop and they look up to you and say, are you going to pick that up or not? And I'm like, and my place is so dog friendly. Brenna.
Does he know what a child's going to be like?
Exactly. Yeah, no, I know. My place is super dog friendly. It has like a dog spa, like some place for you to like clean your dog and everything. It's like really nice. Everyone has a dog but us, I'm convinced.
I'll bring you one.
All right. Come visit. So the next question is, what books have they read? Like authors, what books have made a big impact in your life? So I know we really preach personal development and that's a huge part of our life. But, on top of that, like, what other books do you like? Do you like fiction? Do you like, I don't feel like it has to be just personal development because in the beginning, not everyone connects to that. So like, if you're a huge, like, Harry Potter fan or whatever it is, like, post about that. Like, it's like geeky and fun and people love it. Like, I don't, I'm sorry, I'm not a huge Harry Potter fan, so who loves it? But yeah, like, if you're into that stuff, like, post about it because, people connect with that. And even posting about your personal development books and saying, hey, I had anxiety, but like, this is a book that helped me overcome it, or I had low self-esteem and you're a badass, like, made me feel like a new woman and like made me feel like I can conquer the world. Like, these are the things we all could be better about. I know I could be too. And I take them for granted. I think about these things, but I'm like, will really anyone care? And it's always those moments where I don't overthink my posts that they really make a difference and people really connect with it. So think about those things. And even like when you're writing these things in the comments, say that, like, anxiety, you're a badass, or like make connections with, these are the things I've struggled with and these are the books I've read and to overcome it. So you can talk about that in your posts. Or maybe authors you love just because they're inspiring or, they did something for you. It could be one of the, you guys are so cute. It could be one of the trainings from Summit. You heard like a public speaker talk and they really blew your mind, like Darren Hardy or Brendan Bouchard. So things like that, really connect with that and talk about it so people get on board and they realize like all that Beachbody has to offer, that they offer these trainings and they offer you getting exposed to these type of people who really change your life. I mean, I literally, guys, when I started coaching, you guys probably both don't know this, like, my coach recommended a personal development book and I was like, what? Like a self-help book? Like, I don't need that. And by the way, I needed it more than like anything at that point in my life. Like, I was at the lowest of lows, like, thought my shit didn't stink, but like literally was in so much debt, like depressed, bad. But I was just so bitter and I was so like, I thought I had it all together and I literally had nothing together. And that book changed my life. Like, The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy literally changed my life. And because I just was making excuses for everything. I was like blaming other people's, like blaming all of my problems on other people and it being their fault. So, don't overestimate how much books can impact someone's life or like giving them a recommendation on a podcast or whatever it may be. So you can put podcasts in there too, because I know that's a big thing now. A lot of us going digital. So number 5.
Can I ask a quick favor? Will you take a picture of the team call?
Yeah. Oh my God, with you and your baby.
I want to post it on Facebook later.
Can you make a kiss again to him? Because he's so cute. Hold on, you're blurry.
Is it better?
Yeah, make a kiss.
Oh wait, am I in there?
Yeah, you did not look happy.
No, let me do that again. I'm jealous. My dog's not here. Okay, ready?
It's okay, I don't have a dog.
One more. I promise we'll be done.
Clarky.
Ready?
Oh.
All right, let me check it. Oh my God, I love that you just said that. Oh no. All right, we're not minimizing. It's like you cannot minimize this while we're recording. All right. Oh my God, it was super cute. Love it.
Well, I mean, like, as we were talking about children, like, who has children and, like, wants to be on a business call with their child sitting on their lap? Like, if I had a child, I would want to be.
Yeah.
I would want them to be.
You know, I think about that a lot, and I really struggle with not getting the participation I want on these calls because, like, people have excuses and they have things, and I totally get that. But, like, the person you want to be for your children is, like, you know, showing dedication and, like, showing that, like, you have something to stand for and you are working towards something great or whatever. And I feel like these calls are so important. And I'm really trying to keep them to half an hour now in order to, like, respect people's schedules. And I can't wait to have, like, a kid or a dog or be like, hey, look at my puppy. Look at my child and be so proud of them. I think it's so important. And like you said, oh, sorry.
Can I just say, so like with the kid thing, I'm so past that because mine's graduating from high school. But I do attract like the single mom because I was there. Like I was single mom when she was 4. So I could totally attract that. And I do find those connections. But yeah. I don't want to connect with people that have a bunch of kids.
Yeah, but you can also connect with people who, like, their kids are going off to college.
For sure, yeah, it is. So our teenagers or kids going to college.
But I want to dig into that bit, Becky, if you don't mind. Like, why don't you want to connect with people that have kids?
I don't know. I'm just so past it. I kind of don't like feel their. I don't know where they're at. I don't feel like I connect with them anymore.
That's good. That's really good to recognize. Like, these are the things, like, and this is what's hard, I think, about creating your avatar, because people are so scared to exclude people, or they're so scared to be honest and, like, feel bad about it. Like, honestly, like, it's hard. It's really hard. So I think that's.
I like kids, but I just, you know, like when they're talking about stuff, I can't connect. But if they're saying, oh, you know, my teenager is gone all weekend or my kid's going to college, I'm like, yeah, I totally get it.
Yeah.
I still have a passion for single moms because I did it for my daughter's whole life. Practically.
Absolutely. But, like, your tribe are people that are in the same place as you, which I think is huge. Like, I think that's so great. I think, especially because they're older now, like, one of the benefits to your tribe is, like, they have probably maybe more time now to spend on themselves, and they have more time to care about themselves and spend on this business and, you know, that type of thing. So
another thing is, I think there's different styles of parenting. Just personally, I've seen from my friends versus if I ever had kids, some people lose themselves in their children and some people still have a life. Becky, I feel like you're the person who still had a life. Like, yeah, you were a single mom, but you were still an individual. So you can even hone into that, like, parent, yes, but I was my own person the whole time, and now I'm just loving myself more. But you still had time for you. I see parents and friends do it all the time where, like, oh, well, my kids, you know, the XYZ, so I can't have a life. And I'm like, then your kid's going to learn the same thing, and you're all going to be unhappy fuckers. Like, sorry. Someone's probably watching this recording being like, who's this person?
Brenna, that's so good, and that's so true.
It is so true. Oh my gosh. As I watched my daughter grow up, there's so many parents that are like, they're consumed by their kids. But one thing I wanted to ask is how do, like I wish I had this Beachbody thing when my daughter was younger or littler, even married up until she was like 4. I'm thinking all the times I wasted going to the gym, or when I was total single mom, and she was in grade school. I literally had to work out at the gym at lunch, and I had like such limited time, and I wanted to be healthy. And if I had this back then, it would have made the biggest difference in my life.
So you can speak to that, but again, you're going to attract those people who are younger kids maybe, but like, honestly.
You can always speak to that as well too, like, you know, I wish I had this back then, but I'm just happy I'm taking advantage of it now.
Okay.
You can still speak to who you are now, because if you had this opportunity, you don't know if you actually would have taken it then. Beachbody programs were still around. Obviously, I didn't invite you to join my challenge group, but the programs themselves were still around. So you can say that too. Like, I don't even remember, but I probably saw an infomercial, but it wasn't until that team support, that accountability was an option.
That's so true. I bought hip hop abs because I was like an infomercial queen, and I never did it. That was my first Beachbody program, and I never did it because I just like, I don't know, I just didn't. Well, to be honest, I didn't do it because I was obsessed with Buns of Steel, the 80s video, and Abs of Steel, which I did. I always loved home workout programs. That's true. I never talk about that. Weird. I don't know. I need to talk about it more. But yeah, well, this is great feedback. Really great stuff. So just a few more things. Like this one I actually love because I really think it speaks to who people are. Is like who you are as a person. Like, what brands of clothing do you wear? Like, do you spend money on things? Like, I think this is huge. Do you like appreciate low end things or high end? Like, are you a Target shopper? Like, what kind of makeup do you wear?
Wait. Too many questions at once. What brands of clothes do you wear? What makeup do you buy?
Yeah, so basically, like, who are you as a person? Like, do you not spend a lot of money and, like, buy high-end stuff and, like, maybe are very particular about what you buy? And I guess you could still be particular and buy, like, you know, Target and stuff. But, like, what's your style? Yeah, you can dig into this as much as you want. Like, are you boho chic? Maybe you just don't give a shit and you buy what's on sale.
I don't give a shit chic.
Yeah, I don't give a shit chic. Oh my God, how funny of a post would that be? I just don't care. I just buy what's good.
That's like me daily.
That's what you should post. That's hilarious. I get so much love. I don't give a shit chic.
I was at an IEP meeting today, and I was like, I'm the only one wearing mascara. Why am I wearing mascara? Damn it! I thought I needed to dress up for this.
Yeah, I'm lucky if I wear makeup to work. Because I just don't care about makeup. But I like clothing. Like, I like to look nice, but makeup is just not my jam.
I think that's a huge thing too in attracting our tribe. Not saying anything bad against like the unique people and all of that, but it's so annoying when they'll like ask me to like buy their stuff or stuff, and I'm like, do you see me with makeup on in any of my posts? I've never bought like foundation in my life. I've worn concealer like twice for like a couple like red things on my face, and like I don't put on all that shit. So like, why do you like? But I feel like that's a huge tribe of girls who like don't wear a ton of makeup.
Yeah.
And on that same note, what I wanted to say was, so what makeup do you buy? How much money do you spend? Do you have specific brands? I don't know if this is a different part on the one that you have, but do you save money? Because I don't buy expensive shit. I save money, and I'm a pro at saving money.
Yeah, I'm gonna add that in here actually.
I'm a spender. I am totally a spender, and I love makeup.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, are you a spender?
Love you, Becky.
And I don't need help with personal development or want you to recommend books. Ha ha.
Oh, but girl, you do. Everyone does.
Oh, I told Brenna flat out no.
Yeah, I think we talked about this in the car.
Yeah, no, I don't need any self-help books.
That's great. Yeah, so I think that's a great one. I think that's really good feedback, Brenna. The funny part is I deal with it for my sister because she now does Young Neek and she's obsessed, and I'm like, I've never liked makeup. Like, I've never cared. I used cheap shit, and like, yeah, it's like not good for my skin, but I just don't care.
I bought an adult mascara a couple years ago, or like 2 years ago. I told myself I was an adult because I didn't buy drugstore mascara. I spent like $20 on mascara. Still lasted me for a year, which it's only supposed to last for 6 months. But I was proud of myself for spending more than $6.
That's hilarious.
What's the next question?
The next question makes me laugh, and I changed it because it was like, what magazines do you read? And I'm like, we're in 2017. I don't buy magazines anymore. So maybe you read magazines, but I wrote, what social pages do you follow? So like basically like, what content do you enjoy reading on a daily basis? You know, do you read magazines, or like, do you follow maybe on Instagram, fitness pages, or I don't know what it may be that you're super into. So those type of things. So like, who is your ideal person, and like, what are you into?
Is there anywhere where it said like what kind of like TV shows or like news, would that count towards the same thing?
Yeah, I think so. I think that, I mean, there's a hobbies one, but I think that would be good to add in there too. I can put news. I mean, I think political values is strong, but I honestly like not.
I thought you were gonna go there.
I honestly don't think it's a bad thing to talk about, because you get a lot of traction. It depends how much you want to put yourself out there. Depends. I'm not going there right now. I'm not into it, but like,
I'm not going there. I just get myself in trouble.
The next one's pretty basic. Like, what activities do you enjoy? Like running, volunteering, going to church, those type of things. You know, maybe you're a huge yogi. People love to talk about that. That's a huge niche. So those are, you know, things to focus on. I'm just going to run through these now, because obviously I'll post this on the page and we can talk about it. I don't want to keep people too long. The next one's like, what kind of similar to the other one, like what websites do you visit, or fan pages, like who do you follow, maybe on Facebook. Again, is it really fitness related? Maybe it's dog related. What type of groups are you involved with? I think that's really huge. Are you a gluten-free person? Do you follow a lot of gluten-free websites? Are you foodie? Do you follow a lot of food websites? So those type of things. Or blogging, are you super into blogging? Talk about that. Those are the type of things, like especially on Instagram, hashtags, people are going to be attracted to you and really connect with you. Which runs into like, what are your favorite hobbies? Do you love cooking? Do you love writing? Do you love museums? Do you love traveling and exploring new cities? These are the things that are easy to talk about, guys, too. I feel like we get so lost in like overthink posts that, you know, and don't get me wrong, I wish I had more time to cook, because I love cooking and like share great recipes and that type of thing. But, you know, we just need to stop overthinking it and put things out there and post, because that's what really will connect with people. If you guys have a blog or a website, those things are great to highlight on there to attract people. Are you a part of any groups or clubs or associations? You know, some people are certified in some type of things, even though you don't need to be for Beachbody. So like personal training, or you know, this nutritionist thing that you can get online, integrated nutrition, or maybe it's any kind of club. Like, what kind of things are you into that people can connect with? And this was one I already talked about a bit, but what problems do you feel like you had that you've overcome? So like anxiety or depression or self-doubts or domestic violence, debt, you know, these are all things that I feel like, I shouldn't say are common, but things that people struggle with that are great things to connect with people on, because it's hardships that people have gone through, and it's nice to feel like someone else has been through the same thing, and that, you know, they can relate to it and they feel like someone understands them. I think that's really big. Not the easiest things to talk about, and maybe sometimes you can do it in a private setting more, where you attract with someone with hooking them in, but then you talk about it more personally on a, you know, personal level, on a message. You know, where do they like to travel? So are you a homebody? I think this is huge too, like connecting with the right person. Do you like to travel the world? Are you okay with staying home, and you're an introvert and you feel comfortable like being at home?
As a quick side note for the what problems have you overcome, I think that's one that people should really spend a lot of time on. I haven't overcome, like Meg has an amazing story in the sense of like overcoming things, like sharing all of the things she's overcome with her health, her personal life, you know, everything like that. But I haven't overcome any of that. I haven't lost the most I think I've ever lost total is like 15 pounds. It's nothing crazy. But what have I overcome that people are going to connect with me for? Perfectionism, over planning, college debt, self-doubt, being in awful dead-end relationships, self-love, working like to improve myself. So I still am going to dig more into it, but like I haven't been abused. I haven't had depression or, you know, diagnosed anxiety or any of these things that I've overcome. I've just, you know, overcome smaller things, but those are maybe what my tribe will do too, not the huge thing.
Absolutely. And I think it's really, and I'm on the same page with you. Like, I've never had like a huge weight loss or anything, or like my life's never been like terrible, but like, honestly, I think those smaller things, Brenda, the things that like, or what we consider smaller things, are still big things for people. And it's like, you know, I've had to go through them on my own. And sometimes I wish that there was someone that I could have related to at that time in my life where I was going through it, and like I connect with someone and not feel like I was going to be interrogated, or like it was like a difficult thing, and it was just someone that had a common interest. So, and I guess in that respect, I was so open to the whole Beachbody opportunity because I was so excited that there was an outlet where I felt like I could be myself and I could find people like me. So yeah, I think that's really great feedback. And I think we should never think that those little things aren't enough, because people could really connect with them. And then one of them is like, what type of friends do you have? And this is an interesting one because I feel like my friends before Beachbody and my friends now has changed, and I feel like I can speak to that a lot. You know, I have a lot of different friends in different places in my life, but I think my Beachbody friends are people I really, you know, value and appreciate so much, and I just can't imagine my life without them now. So I think that's something to really speak to. And, you know, yeah, I think it goes full circle. Like, who are your friends? Who were they? Who are they now? What does that say about you as a person? How much do you value friendship? Those type of things. And then the last one I added, are you a spender or do you save money? Because that was something that we discussed, and I think that's a really strong thing to focus on. And that's it. I think we can add more, but I think that's a really good foundation for people to think about and not feel super overwhelmed. And I think maybe we can follow up this call with like running through them and talking to people about them, and like sharing. Even I posted a graphic that I had done earlier, like last year, and we could like create graphics and share them so people like get accountability and they get excited about like knowing who their avatar is. I think it'd be really great.
I stole your picture of your avatar so I can use it.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, like I love that format. So like, again, we can share it with everyone, and that's like my older one, so I'm gonna refine it a bit. But like how that was inspired by this woman, Melanie Duncan. I don't know if you guys know who she is, but she is a girl boss entrepreneur, and she fucking rocks it. I freaking love her. Just Google Melanie Duncan. I'm obsessed with her. She started her first business as an entrepreneur in college, and her husband like now have done several businesses, and they've built up basically like who they are and their brand, and they just crush it, and I just love them. So it kind of was inspired by her because she travels all over the world, and she's like such a girl boss. And but it's involved because like I do know I want a family now, so I need to like add that into the mix. And I want to talk more again to like people who are working and love their job, and you know don't necessarily want to do this maybe full time, but you know can still have this in their life and following their passion. So, but yeah, that format's a really good format to use. Brenna, you want to say anything else?
I think this is something that you can do, but also you can add to. Like, you can make your avatar. Here's the other one. You can make your avatar, and you can have the main things. But I also think it's important to like still be adding in random things, like your hobbies. Your hobbies are gonna change, so like don't forget to continue to like when you try something new, like either, you know, write a list of things that you're trying new, or that you post about, like, what activities do you enjoy? Like, I was literally just answering a text from my friend and about my nails. Like, I have acrylic nails. That's another thing that, like, someone might connect to me about because I do it for my eczema. Like, so, like, just, like, don't overthink it. Like, just think of all of the small things and, like, write them down. Like, I never think it's bad to write a lot of stuff down.
Yeah, absolutely. I think about that so much, like the little things you wouldn't even think about, like not wanting to wear makeup or like whatever. Like, I don't know. There's so many little things that I just overlook about posting because I just feel like it's crazy or stupid. Like having little boobs, but still wanting to take my bra off every day. Like, I don't know. I know that seems stupid, but like,
I don't even wear one half the time
the
anymore.
ladies free. So yeah, there's so many like funny things you can talk about, or like never wanting to do my hair, even though I love when it's done. Like I just don't care. You know, I feel weird when I don't have earrings in. I feel naked. Like, I don't know. There's so many things.
Yeah, I don't care about jewelry.
Oh, see, I'm like weirdo. I don't know. Like I want another tattoo, but I don't really know what I want. Like I'm like a wannabe tattoo person.
I want another tattoo. I love earrings and jewelry, but I hate
Tattoos.
I feel like it's one or the other with the makeup or jewelry. Like people who like both, whew, they put in
That's
a lot
high
of
maintenance.
effort. I think that's why I don't like makeup, because I can put on 2 pieces of jewelry and people be like, "Oh my gosh, you look beautiful."
You also don't need makeup. Like you're so beautiful.
Thanks.
You're welcome. All right, ladies, I gotta go eat dinner. I love you though. I'm so excited we jumped on this call. I think it's gonna help so many people, and I think we could do a follow-up too. Honestly, Brenna, like to your point, I think we should do like a follow-up on this like every once in a while, so people are constantly thinking about like evolving their avatar, because it is constantly changing. They keep that fresh in people's minds, you know.
I have a good idea. We should do it quarterly since it's the beginning of the quarter.
Yeah.
So like again in January.
Love it.
Perfect. All right, someone got to remember that. Becky, it's your birthday in January. You remember. New birthday, new avatar.
No, it's so good because like January is a perfect time to rethink it too. Like, it's great.
Yeah.
Love it.
All right, thank you. Have a good dinner.
Thanks.
Bye. Have a good night, guys.
Bye.
I'll send you that picture.